By the time Custer came back to the Black Hills, the buffalo herds that once roamed the Great Plains had been hunted to near extinction. A handful of visionary ranchers would save the species, and the direct descendants of those rescued herds live on in Custer State Park. The buffalo are rounded up every fall as part of the herd management plan, and the event has become a major tourist draw. It's a lot of work for park staff and for the volunteers that help out. Here's a Dakota Life look at the roundup, a wrangler, and a group of fourth graders learning about South Dakota history through the lesson of the buffalo.
By the way, kids, this is Bill. Can you say hi to Bill? Hi!
Howdy! You'll get in out of the rain.
68-year-old Bill Kretsch's horse stable is the classroom today for this group of Madison fourth graders. A descendant of Flandreau area homesteaders, Kretsch is a former smoke jumper, rangeland conservationist, and Bureau of Land Management administrator. Soon he'll be a volunteer wrangler in the Custer State Park Buffalo Roundup.
But it isn't just to go out and play and run with the buffalo. There's a job to do, and to move the buffalo down somewhere. And so that requires some. There's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Kretsch has agreed to teach the kids what he already knows about horses and buffalo and then report back to them after the roundup.
So that's just an extension of some of the community that I feel here, and I feel that I want to pay back something for that, and let these kids enjoy what I enjoy.
Marletta Ike is the teacher working with Kretsch on the lesson plan.
We study South Dakota and South Dakota history in fourth grade. And bison have been a part of that history from the very beginning. So by following bison, we can study prehistoric South Dakota all the way up to present day.
The Buffalo Lake Drum Group performs in the stable while outside in the rain, two buffalo calves from the Santee Sioux tribes herd wait for their part in the lesson.
Well, it's more than just the bison as being a source of food. There's also the cultural, spiritual aspect. They're survivors, just like the Dakota people are. We've had a traumatic history. The bison went through a traumatic history. They were down to just a few hundred head in the whole continent. And it's the same sort of deal with the Native American people. A lot of the tribes were exterminated.
Horsemanship is also a part of the lesson. Kretsch tells the kids that for buffalo to be herded, a horse and rider need to send the animals a message.
But I have to prove myself that I'm equal to them, and to these youngsters, that's not too hard.
The roundup will be a different story. About 1,100 buffalo have to be brought in from the park's forests and pastures. Most of the big bulls have been allowed to wander off into the hills, but a few remain with the cows and calves being rounded up.
We use this as a tool to bring the animals in. We brand calves, we vaccinate calves against diseases, and generally assess the herd health. And we sort off or cull down to what our overwinter carrying capacity is.
We don't want anybody, any horses, any buffalo to get hurt. So if you get in a situation that you're uncomfortable with, it's okay to bow out and hold back. Don't be afraid to do that, because the last thing we want to do is put you in the ambulance and send you away. And we have had that happen.
60 or so riders gather at the corrals for a safety briefing. A core group of about 20 highly experienced buffalo handlers will lead the others in 3 teams. Some are guests riding by special invitation, and some are like Bill Kretsch, qualified riders who applied for a spot in the roundup and were accepted. They're told to look for signs that a buffalo might be about to charge.
Those bulls, when they come, they mean business, if that's the case, and they'll take on a pickup. They don't care what it is.
An orientation ride to get the wranglers used to the roundup route in the rough terrain ends the workday. A campfire and some cowboy music eases the tension the night before the roundup. Seasons come and seasons go on the range of the buffalo. Tourists and journalists show up early on the day of the roundup. The crowd is estimated at more than 14,000. It's a little after 10 a.m. and here they come.
But it was a real rush to be running with a buffalo and be that close to them, and the herd, you know, the thundering and the dust and the snorting and their grunting and all of that. And the horses pick up on it, the riders pick up on it, and it's a real high. I mean, I'm sorry that everybody couldn't be in there and doing it, but I think that even the viewing audience could see that this is really something to see that many buffalo running like that. I was a new man in it this year, and I wanted to keep my head down and kind of follow the people that knew what they were doing, and that worked really well. You're next.
The Madison fourth graders get a final chance to grill Bill on the details of the ride. Would any of them ever do it?
For the first time I'll be nervous, but when I get used to it, it'll be all right.
One imagines what it must have been like in the old days.
I was kind of thinking about when Indians got a buffalo, what they would celebrate like.